Dewey's doing what it's supposed to do for once. Like and subscribe for aired down tires.
Hey guys, my name is Dewey Jones. I'm a Colorado off-roader, and what we do here is trail guys. Now today we are doing Radical Hill. We have Zach, who many of you guys know. He's here in his XJ open differentials 32s. We also have new to the channel, Sam. He's a buddy of mine from ski instructing, former ski instructor together, and he's taking out his Touareg, so we're gonna get good shots of that, but let's go check out Radical Hill. Alright, I can't wait to show you this awesome trail, but before we do, let me show you how to get here. Now, you're going to access Radical Hill from Webster Pass, which I'm showing you now. Webster Pass can be found by Googling Montezuma, Colorado, and then following the signs to it. Now, Webster Pass is an easy trail, but it's still an off-road trail. Now, if you like these drone shots, definitely stick through to the end because I think we may have gotten our best drone shots to date. Anyway, as you continue on Webster Pass, you're going to come upon a split in the trail. This is the start of Radical Hill. We're going to start from the bottom, which offers a more challenging introduction, so let's get right into it. Yeah, I haven't done it in a while.
Hey, I can go up and around and come up that top part.
If you want to do that, that's a better way.
If you let them line up front it, you have to articulate on this trail more than you have to articulate right here, I feel like, in one or two spots.
Okay.
If you have ever videoed yourself off-roading, then you are likely aware of how a video blunts a trail's difficulty. But trust me, the way we started this trail is steeper than it looked, and it was definitely very loose. Also, if you got to the top, the trail just wanted to lift your tires. Now, the trail from here on out will offer more challenges and of course obstacles. But for now, we're going to get a brief reprieve, and I'll tell you about my history with this trail. Before I talk about my previous times on this trail, I probably should point out that the trail starts to get rougher around this switchback, and it stays like this till rock obstacle number 1. Now, I used to live in Keystone, Colorado, and even when I moved away, I still spent a majority of my free time in Keystone and surrounding Summit County. Now, one of my go-to off-road loops was St. John Trail to Radical Hill. I've done this loop a lot and in all kinds of weather, including this one sketchy time in heavy fog and fairly wet conditions. These are some of the photos from that time, and it shows something I never really considered. I had always done Radical Hill from the top to the bottom. So today will be all of ours first time taking on Radical Hill from the bottom on up, and it definitely offered a different kind of challenge from all my previous trips.
Did I like just go right through?
Yeah, you went over top of it. This is awesome.
I guess I think I have less center.
Yeah. Alright, before any of you anti-rock stackers get to the typing, I'd like to point out that Sam considers himself an off-road camper or overlander, and he's trying harder trails to improve his skill set as well as his ride. From this long climb, we come upon our first real obstacle around the corner. That would be rock obstacle number 1. Although maybe not as big as, let's say, Wheeler Lake's rock obstacle number 2, the V-notch. This one offers plenty of challenge, especially when wet. Rock obstacle number 1 has a variety of lines. Now the center line around where Zach is posing may be the most difficult, and you can see all the scrapes on the rock by his right foot. Also of note, the right side of this obstacle has a decent V-notch. Oh, and as I'm looking at my Funtreks book, I see they make a note of saying not for stock vehicles, so let's see how we do it.
Tried it. First trip with Dewie. They cut me home. They sent me home because we don't want to screw my car up too much.
Dude,
so.
Yeah, I mean, I know your vehicle can do it. We just need to get some skids on it, some rock rails, and then we can really send it where we don't worry about wrecking your vehicle on a trail guide.
It'll be fun. We'll do it next year.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you for coming out, and
thanks for having me.
So Sam definitely wanted to keep going, but Zach and I decided to stop him. His VW is his daily driver, and even though it is lifted, it needs rock rails and full skids to protect it. The reasoning is, without lockers, Sam would need to send it to get over this obstacle as well as the obstacles to follow, similar to how Zach got his open differential XJ over this. Now Sam will return, but now it's my turn in my stock JL Rubicon. I'm not locked up as this is a trail guide and not all Wranglers have lockers. I'm also running my tires at 37 psi. Yes, I have an air compressor, quick deflators, replacement valve stems, and the whole full 9 yards, but I believe in adding handicaps so I can accurately rate the trail's difficulty at the end.
Yeah, that's a problem, and like you said, he's not there down. I'm at 15 psi. Helps you hug those rocks a lot more. I could pull you up.
No, I want to do it.
Dewey's doing what it's supposed to do for once. Like and subscribe for aired down tires. Poke her face with the noise.
There we go. Like butter.
Okay, before any of my YouTube wheeling pals put their comments in about them being right about airing down, I'd like to point out that this is only the second trail guide that I've aired down for, the other being Wheeler Lake. Now, I have never said airing down isn't beneficial, but what I have said is it is usually not necessary. For these trail guides, I really want to know what the trail is like and what ones I need to air down for. However, for some trails like Holy Cross or Mount Blanca, I will air down from the start. as anyone going on those trails will have at least an air compressor and tire deflators. Okay then, YouTube friends, you have won this round. But let's move on as the trail gets sketchier and the views from the top aren't to be missed. Now this is rock obstacle number 2, but it's more like a line of fairly big rocks, with even bigger rocks stuck in the middle. Now Trails Off-Road notes there is only one line over this obstacle, up and over.
Yeah, no, that's probably your line.
This trail guide was filmed on October 2nd, 2021, so we didn't have as much daylight as we had earlier in the summer. Now by the time we finished rock obstacle number 2, we realized we needed to keep moving so we could avoid doing the upcoming sketchy parts in the dark. Those sketchy parts include a narrow shelf road with some parts of that road wanting to throw you off the cliff's edge. But before we get to that part, we need to find a Y intersection as well as a rough start to the shelf roads. Because we are running low on daylight, we decided to continue on to the top by making a right at this Y intersection. But to the left is an old cabin, which is a great spot for lunch or a beer rating. This is also a good place to wait in case any vehicles are coming down from the switchbacks, because as you're going to see, they are quite tight. But we're going to skip the cabin today and instead go right onto a part that I don't recall being as rough as it is now in the past.
My new rock rail.
Yeah, because now you can start cutting back.
This is really fun going up.
Alright, to those of you who have done Radical Hill before, I'm curious, has that part of the trail always been like that? Granted, it's nothing crazy, but I feel I would have remembered that from my previous trip since you're going over those rocks so close to a cliff's edge. Now I'd love to hear your input in the comment section, but for now, one of my favorite parts of Colorado off-roading is coming up: high, narrow, and tippy shelf roads. As we go around switchback number 2, I want you to take a note on how much Zach's Jeep leans off the cliff's edge. It looks like a recent landslide may have increased the pucker factor between switchback 2 and 3, and I'm going to bring you inside the cab to hopefully give you a little bit on how it feels to be so tippy. We are now approaching the 3rd switchback, and if you thought the trail was narrow before this, you're going to absolutely love what's coming.
Definitely a pucker factor on that one.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I know video really doesn't do this trail justice, but I know my Jeep was tilted at least 26 degrees from the mountainside. The key to safely doing this trail is to not drive up the inside wall that would push you over your tipping point and down the cliff's edge. Also, both Funtreks and TrailsOffroad do not recommend full-size vehicles on this section of trail. Funtreks even goes further and says that vehicles over 74 inches wide will find this especially nerve-wracking. Thankfully, the stock Jeep JL is only 73.8 inches without mirrors. We have made it to the top of Rad Hill, and if I don't say so myself, it is absolutely stunning up here. One of the reasons I ran this loop so much is that I just loved coming up here and watching the clouds swirl around the mountains. I used to stay up here for hours. However, if Rad Hill seemed like too much of a trail for you, there are other ways to get up here. My first real kind of trail guide or first trail guide was on St. John, and that trail can get you to this spot. You can also get up here by Deer Creek and the north and middle forks of the Swan River Trail. We will have trail guides on all those trails, and I'll link all these trails in a Summit County Trails playlist, and I'm going to include that at the end of this video. I'll also add new trails to this playlist as we make them. But anyway, let's finish the trail while I review it and break it down. Rad Hill has been one of my favorite Summit County trails, and I think I like it even more now by going up it. I also love that you can combine it with so many different trails to create different routes. For instance, if I had 2 days off in a row, I could see myself starting in Grant, heading up Red Cone, then taking Webster Pass to Rad Hill. From there, I could take one of the forks of the Swan River to Breckenridge, or I could take Deer Creek or St. John to Keystone. The views from the top of the high country are just spectacular, and I love how you can see the ski resorts from up here on a clear day. Speaking of skiing, to those of you who wanted more of those videos, I do have an announcement coming, but for now, back to the trail, let's break it down. We think that both Funtreks and TrailsOffroad are spot on with their difficulty ratings. Now, I did hear Zach say that he thinks that Rad Hill is more difficult than nearby Red Cone, but I'm gonna wait until I edit our upcoming Red Cone videos or our official assessment. Now, pucker factor is extremely high on this trail, and a mistake here can have deadly consequences. Both scenery and fun ratings are extremely high for this trail. Now, finally, this trail has some real dangers, including high cliffs with narrow off-camber shelf roads with a high rollover risk, and it can be tougher when wet. That's our breakdown. Do you guys agree or disagree with our assessment? Just let us know down in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. If you guys like this video, you're gonna love this playlist of Summit County off-road trails. Also, if you want to see more trail guides like this, smash that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.
When I was doing Red Cone the other day, I looked at this trail and I was like, I gotta film it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, see, that guy's coming down Red Cone. That's ballsy.
That is ballsy.